Morning came, and with it, a strange silence. Eddie and Harper had left the eerie farmhouse, hoping to find their way back to civilization. But the moment Eddie pulled out his compass, he knew they were in trouble. The needle, which should have pointed to a known route, a highway, anything familiar, swung wildly before settling. It pointed directly toward an empty stretch of land, a place, where, according to every map they had, nothing existed. Eddie, just 17, ran a hand through his brown hair, his green eyes fixed on the defiant compass. He wore his usual adventuring gear, a green t-shirt, jeans, bling, and a heavy backpack filled with supplies that suddenly felt inadequate. The compass needle was supposed to be their guide, their one constant in this bizarre journey. Now, it was leading them into a void. Beside him, Harper, also 17, pushed her red glasses up her nose. Her long blonde hair blew slightly in the wind as she tapped furiously on her tablet. The screen showed the same thing the paper maps did, a blank space where County Road 112 should be, a major artery, gone. It was just empty digital landscape. He looked up, her expression a mix of frustration and growing fear. It makes no sense, Eddie. The satellite data, the old survey maps, they all show a road here. But it's just not. With no other choice, they put their faith in the compass. They started walking, following the unwavering needle into the apparent nothingness. The ground was just grass and dirt at first, but after about 100 yards, something changed. Faint lines appeared in the soil, like the ghosts of tire tracks. They were barely visible, but they were there. Little further on, they saw something even stranger. A road sign, rusted and bent, standing alone in a field. But where a name or a number should have been, the metal was completely blank, as if the words themselves had been scrubbed away. The air grew thick and heavy, and distance began to feel wrong. They walked for what felt like an hour, but the horizon never seemed to get any closer. The sun beat down, but the shadows it cast were long and distorted, stretching at unnatural angles. Eddie stopped and wiped sweat from his forehead. This isn't right, Harper. It feels like we're on a treadmill. Harper was looking at the ground, her eyes wide. Eddie, look! She pointed at a fresh set of tire tracks, cutting through the grass right next to them. They were deep, clear, as if a truck had just passed. But there was no truck. There was no engine sound, no dust kicked up, nothing. Just the tracks, appearing out of nowhere and leading into the distance. It was impossible. That's when it hit Eddie. The realization was a cold shock, sending a shiver down his spine despite the heat. He turned to Harper, his voice low. We're not walking toward a missing road. We're walking on it. He gestured around them, at the phantom tracks, the blank sign, the distorted space. This road isn't just gone from the maps. Someone is actively erasing it, hiding it, but it's still here. People are still using it, somehow. As if to confirm his theory, the compass in his hand began to glow with a soft, steady light. The needle, which had been twitching slightly, now locked firmly in place, humming with a low energy. It wasn't just pointing toward a direction anymore. It was reacting to something. Harper watched the glowing compass, then looked back at her tablet, her mind racing. She started pulling up data from their previous encounters, the lighthouse, the diner, the farmhouse. A pattern began to emerge, a terrifying, unbelievable pattern. Oh my God, she whispered, her fingers hovering over the screen. The signal. The places we've been, the places that have vanished, they weren't natural disappearances. They're being targeted. Deliberately erased from the world, piece by piece, while they're still functioning. 2. It's not about things disappearing. It's about them being hidden in plain sight. They stood there, on a road that didn't exist, Surrounded by the evidence of a secret, invisible world operating just beneath the surface of their own, the glowing compass was their only guide, pulling them deeper into a conspiracy far bigger and more dangerous than they could have ever imagined. They knew, with chilling certainty, that they had to follow it.